Today, Christopher Loxonen will lead the field down to the green flag at the Estonia Autodrom. This track was opened in 1984 in an attempt by the Soviet government to get a Formula Omega date. Unfortunately, that fell through for them, and the track has sat pretty much abandoned for the past 30 years. As you can see, it looks somewhat in a state of disrepair. Earlier this year, the track acquired a new owner, and the owner decided to start bringing racing back to the Estonia Autodrom despite not renovating it at all. So this is going to be very interesting to see here today. The track is very narrow and very bumpy. I guess that's what 30 years of Baltic winters will do to a track. And drivers have been going off pretty much every lap, trying to find grip on the track. They've been complaining about driving off all over the track, and especially the final hairpin has been causing quite a few issues for the drivers here today. The new owner has stated that he will renovate the track in the future, possibly as early as next year, but as of right now, the track is the way it is. A lot of dirt embankments and old asphalt, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out. We have a couple local entries, couple drivers hailing from Estonia and Lithuania in that area, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do here today. Now, Christopher Loxonen leads the field down to the green flag for the third time in 4 races. Isaac Kowalczyk starting on his outside, and it looks like Conceição Monteiro is moving up into second place as they funnel into turn number 1, and it looks like we've already got a couple cars off in the back. Looks like Salvatore Torregrossa and JP Beaufort making his first PCC Europe start. Hits the outside wall. The French Touring champion loses a bunch of spots here on the opening lap. He started up in the top 10 and hoped to contend for a good position up there, but it looks like he's going to drop back quite a bit. Looks like he's down in the mid-20s by the time they hit turn number 4. Looks like Mirella Long hits the outside wall, and she's going to go around, sitting in the middle of the track, and everyone avoids her. Looks like Hiroto Niku also went around there in the 234, Japanese driver who is running the European races here. We've got Christopher Loxonen up front again, leading a cadre of Rus Autosport cars. Looks like that is the 66, as the 16 has already moved back into 4th place. Conceição Monteiro appears to be running up in 5th place, so she's doing a fantastic job. Looking further back, this is Gracie Benson, and she's running in 11th place, but she's got a little damage already. Don't know if she hit the wall or what happened, but you can see a bunch of cars off in front of her. Drivers complaining about not really having grip in the tires, and they're sliding all over the place. Here's Sergei Yakovsky going for 2nd place around Leonid Chernov there. Chernov drove it off, and coming up this uphill hairpin, Yakovsky's going to hold on to 2nd place. Let's see if he can catch Christopher Loxonen. I believe this is... can't tell which car this is. This is one of the Russian Bears cars. Mikhail Abulin running in 20th place. He is in the last points paying position as of right now, and Russian Bears has only scored 1 point in all of the European exhibitions so far at Hungaroring. So he's trying to do himself a pretty good job here and just keep himself in the points. Looks like Shumi Winslow dropped back a little bit there. He's not having a very good run here today, but Anders Magnussen now pouring out smoke coming up the hairpin, and he is going to be the first retirement of the day in the 07 car. Anders Magnussen not having a very good day here today. Trying to pull on pit road, and he's going to get that car back into the pits. Here's Mikkel Jakobsen running in the 21 car. He purchased this car from James Hewitt after Hewitt won at Brno last year. He's running in 27th place with a few of his countrymen. There's Serge Iscaru behind him, and Karmis Astar from Lithuania is right behind him in the 55 car. They're having decent runs. They're not up in the points currently where they'd like to be, but they're getting there slowly but surely. Christopher Loxonen drives wide in the S's, and a lot of drivers have been doing that, but Loxonen, he is making mistakes, somewhat uncharacteristic of him. Well, so is, looks like Sergei Yakovsky back there. He just flat out drove it off. Clint Lend is going a lap down on lap number 5 of 35 here today. So, Clint Lend not doing himself any good. He is one of the few back markers who actually made it on the entry list. Oh, looks like we've got Sergei Yakovsky wide, and he's going to drop back to 4th place. Clint Lend, pick a line. You cannot be driving like that on a track this narrow. This is one of the Winslow brothers. This is Shumi Winslow trying to get around him there, and he does so. Ooh, looks like Carolina Storman hit the outside wall there. They're just trying to get through, and that was the battle for 20th place. So Shumi Winslow moves up into the final points-paying position as Carolina Storman is dropping way back, clearly not adapting to the circuit very well. Shumi Winslow doing himself wonders in that car, though, despite having a very poor start. Here we've got Sergei Yakovsky pushing up on the inside of Isaac Kowalczyk, who slides it wide, and looks like Yakovsky's going to move up into 2nd place again around his 2 teammates. Looks like Hiroto Niku's already gone a lap down up there in the 234 car. But nobody's been able to catch Christopher Loxonen, who's basically just driven away from the field. Branimir Nikolaev is doing himself a pretty good job. Oh, looks like that was Louis Ballard who went way wide. So that puts Branimir Nikolaev up into 7th position. Nikolaev is one of the drivers who's contending for a top 5 position in the points, and he's going to need every point that he can get at this point if he's going to hang with the front runners in the championship. And it looks like he's doing himself a pretty good job doing that here today. Sean Spicoli diving onto pit road from, I believe this is 20-something place, 22nd place. Sean Spicoli hits pit road, reporting a loose wheel on the number 82. So a hamper on his day, definitely. Gracie Benson is doing a pretty good job. She's in 10th place, but she just went off. I believe she reacted to Clint Lend there, being in the way as usual. And she's going to lose about 4 positions there. There's Vital Winslow who goes on by. And, ooh, clearly showing her displeasure for Clint Lend. Nearly ran him off the road again. Gracie Benson trying to forge her way forward again. Mikko Jakobsen running in 27th place. As I mentioned before, one of the 2 Estonian drivers in the field, the other being Serge Ascaru. And he just lost a position to Marius Rutcher in the 89 car there. Rutcher and Franz Bergman are going to be running some of the European rounds in conjunction with the PCC Cup Series. Salvatore Torregrossa and Louis Ballard doing battle here. This is the battle for 5th place, and despite Louis Ballard driving off earlier, he has really pushed forward. He is running some of the fastest laps of the race, even faster than Christopher Loxonen. He just started fairly poorly. Shumi Winslow gets into the side of Gosselin, and both go into the wall. Oh, that's not going to be a very good. That's not going to be very good for either of them, as they were battling in the lower points. Looking here on board Shumi Winslow, and Gosselin just pulled out in front of him and just hooked him, I guess. Tough break for them. They've just had terrible days so far, no luck whatsoever. Gottfried Homstad running for Northern Light Motorsports being the only one of those 2 cars left, reporting a lot of dust on the windshield, and that's going to take him out of the race. Way to go! You just wrecked yourself into the pit wall. Here we've got a battle for... This is the battle for 2nd place between Rus Autosport cars, no surprise here. Leonid Chernov and Sergei Yakovsky. And it looks like Chernov is going to get the advantage headed down here into this little downhill section, and he's going to take the position away. Franz Bergman racing with Shumi Winslow, who's had all sorts of problems here today. And this is actually the battle for the final points-paying position. So Shumi Winslow trying to get himself back in the points after all that has gone wrong, and Franz Bergman's just kind of surrender that position to him. Perhaps feeling bad for him. This is the battle for 4th place now. And the 16 car of Isaac Kowalczyk is really struggling. He hasn't been able to match the pace of his teammates despite qualifying second. I guess his race pace isn't quite as good as his qualifying pace, but the 0 car is absolutely flying here today. Louis Ballard has been moving towards the front, and it doesn't look like if his pace keeps up, he is going to catch Christopher Loxonen at some point during this race. It's only a matter of time, really. And here's Jan Schmidt getting into Hiroto Niku, and he goes into the outside wall from 8th place. So Jan Schmidt not doing nearly as well as his teammate, but he was having a strong run regardless, and he just threw it away by running into a lapped car that was in the way. This is not a very good track for lapped cars. We've got one of the Russian Bears Motorsports cars in. That's the 90 car, and he's pitting from 20th place. So Mikhail Abulin handing that position over, and oh, that's why he came into the pits. He just wrecked Clint Lend. So I guess that explains what happened there, and guess he had some damage that needed to get repaired from that. Here's Leonid Chernov as he just door checks the 234 into the outside wall. Lapped cars have been an absolute nuisance at this track, more so than any other that I've seen really ever. Perhaps that's because it's so narrow, and now Louis Ballard making a charge up to 3rd place, getting around, I believe that is Sergei Yakovsky. So Louis Ballard now up to 3rd place and quickly hunting down Leonid Chernov in the 66 up there. Not sure how long it's going to take to catch him, but I think it's only a matter of time. As I mentioned before, Louis Ballard is absolutely on rails here today. This is... okay, yeah, we've got here... he's reporting some sort of a problem. Christopher Loxonen is reporting a problem in this number 73 car. He's stating that the dashboard is smoking a little bit. So that's not very good for him. The dashboard is smoking on the number 73 car, and he's in the lead. Conceição Monteiro brings her car into the pits on lap number 19. Looks like we've got the 43 car and the 37 all coming in. Isaac Kowalczyk commits to the pit lane a little too late, and that's going to take him out of the race. Oh my goodness. People seem to love that pit wall there. Don't know how they're not seeing it. It's definitely not in the way. As Leonid Chernov is the first car off of pit road. The number 66 car beats Sergei Yakovsky by quite a bit. Here's Louis Ballard running up in 2nd place. He still hasn't pit, but he's going to pit the next lap. Christopher Loxonen brings his car into the pits. He's reporting that there's still a problem on that number 73 car. They're going to take a look at it and see what's wrong. He's reporting now that a small fire has erupted in his dashboard. Louis Ballard brings his car into the pits. Here's Leonid Chernov coming around and seeing who's going to beat him out of the pits. Louis Ballard's way back there, but Christopher Loxonen has not exited the pit road. Christopher Loxonen is still sitting on the pits. They have not figured out what's wrong with that car. The dashboard is on fire, and he has climbed out of that car. And Christopher Loxonen is going to be done for the day due to some electrical issues in that number 73 car. They're not sure what's wrong with that car. The dashboard was on fire when he pulled into the pits. But that will hand the lead over to Leonid Chernov here in the number 66 car. And I'm having trouble seeing who's in 2nd place right now. Just not seeing anyone back there. Oh, here's Conceição Monteiro, who's in 3rd place. Louis Ballard is in 2nd. But Conceição Monteiro is having a fantastic run here today. This is easily one of her best performances, aside from Illa Bianchi, where she was leading most of the race due to being on an alternate pit strategy. But this is her best performance by far. Looks like Salvatore Torregrossa is going to bring his car into the pits. He's reporting a loose wheel on the number 43 car from the top 10. So that's a huge blow to him. He was really hoping to have a good run. He has had no luck so far in this European exhibition string. JP Beaufort, despite starting in 11th place, he's worked his way back up to 7th after falling all the way back into the mid-20s, so he is really having a strong run. He's pushed forward and he's just running consistently and not running it off the track, which is really what you need to do here. Looks like Franz Bergman's bringing his car into the pits as well from 16th place due to a loose wheel, so that's valuable points for the Bergman Autosport team going out the window. Here's Serge Ascaru running in 24th place, doing his countrymen proud. He's having a really good run. He's been really anonymous running for Baltic Automotive Performance. But I suppose that's what you need to do to get into the lower points, just stay out of everyone's way, and just kind of soldier home. Leonid Chernov running in the lead. There's Mikkel Jakobsen about to go a lap down, trying to go around the outside in the hairpin. That's not a good idea. He runs wide. He runs into the grass, and he hits the outside wall. Leonid Chernov trying to get his car back on track. He has about a 3-second lead, and there's Louis Ballard. Louis Ballard is making a move on the inside of Leonid Chernov, trying to make a move for the lead, and he is going to do so. So Louis Ballard is going to take the lead. I almost said she because I'm used to seeing Claire Aussier in that car. My apologies. But looks like Louis Ballard is really pulling away from Leonid Chernov now, and fastest car on the track is back in the lead after that. And here's Mikkel Jakobsen getting ready to go a lap down. Hopefully this doesn't end as badly as it did when Leonid Chernov was trying to lap him. Clint Lend being slow in the way, and Mikkel Jakobsen removes himself from the equation by driving off the track, like a good back marker should. So Mikkel Jakobsen going a lap down. Finally, here's Dalia Liwi having a fantastic run. She's running up in the points, despite never seeing this track before and having no experience on it. And she's really just kind of soldiering her way home. She's in 20th place right now, and there's a big group of cars up there. Looks like from about 14th on back. Yeah, this is Shumi Winslow here, and he's running in, I believe he's in 14th right now, and this goes from 14th to 21st, all the way back there. There's a bunch of cars. Aaron Williams is back there, a couple of the Delta City cars. Yeah, taking a look here, here's Aaron Williams running right in front of Louis-Philippe Gozolin in the 17 car. He's recovered quite well. The two Delta City cars, Carolina Storman's there, and this battle's been going on for the past few laps. Louis Ballard working around Serge Ascaru there, trying to put him a lap down. And Joha Vovasic makes an appearance, and oh, that's not good for Louis Ballard, as he tried to avoid Vovasic there. And it looks like Leonid Chernov's going to sweep into the lead around there. What a costly mistake for Louis Ballard, as now Leonid Chernov takes the lead again and pulls away by a couple seconds. Drives a bit wide, but doesn't look like it's going to be too much of an issue for Louis Ballard here. Oh, he's stuck on the outside coming up this hairpin. He's going to run it wide again, trying to get around Serge Ascaru, and it looks like Louis Ballard is going to try and pounce and take the lead back. Yes, he's going to do so on the inside. Louis Ballard coming around, and Louis Ballard is going to take the lead again, coming down the front straightaway due to the mistakes by Leonid Chernov trying to get around lapped cars. Lapped cars really not playing nice here today. Serge Ascaru going a lap down. Remember what I said about him being anonymous? Well, this isn't helping at all, as Louis Ballard, it looks like Leonid Chernov's quite a bit closer this time than he was last time, so he might be able to make a move legitimately on the track without capitalizing on mistakes by him. Looks like Hiroto Niku's going to get in the way, and he throws the block. What are you doing? As now Leonid Chernov goes into the lead again, as Hiroto Niku got in the way of Louis Ballard like a dumbass, and that's going to put Louis Ballard back into second place. Hiroto Niku now trying to get around, Sergei Akoski's trying to get around him, and he just spun him out. Yeah, good luck coming back with that kind of driving, Hiroto Niku. That's not cool. You're wrecking the leaders, man. And Sergei Akoski, understandably upset, drives off in the final turn. He just got spun from third place. I mean, what do you expect? Leonid Chernov does not have the straightaway speed that Louis Ballard has, and Louis Ballard's going to sweep right on by there. So Louis Ballard goes back to the lead legitimately, and he tried to outbrake him there, and it just didn't work on the outside. There's just not enough grip on the outside line coming into turn number 1 to be able to outbrake like that. Louis Ballard trying to get around Hinckley Scarberry now in the 81. He makes a mistake and hits the outside wall. There's Leonid Chernov ready to pounce again, and it looks like that's the 3rd place car back there, maybe? I can't tell. The Russian Bears cars and the Rus Autosport cars look so similar. It's hard to tell the difference. Regardless, it's still pretty close up front. Oh, that was a Russian Bears car, never mind. But still up front, it is still very close between Louis Ballard and Leonid Chernov. One mistake can determine anything, and Sean Spicoli just door-checked Joha Vovicic into the wall. Sean Spicoli is currently running in the final points paying position in 20th place, and just telling the lapped cars to get out of his way. Branimir Nikolaev now running up in the top 10. He's doing quite a good job. He's running, actually this is the battle for 5th place. He runs wide, trying to get around Clint Len, trying to merge back on track, and oh, that is a gaggle of cars. Vital Winzel's in there. Giuseppe Balducci, and oh, Clint Lend is around, and he just ran into him. Branimir Nikolaev has quite a bit of damage there, getting passed by Jari Kupokinen from the Åland Islands. Going on board Branimir Nikolaev, he ran quite a bit wide, and there's just a lot of cars up there. Vital Winzel hooks him around, and Clint Lend slid across the track. Branimir Nikolaev has quite a bit of front-end damage, but I don't think he's going to pit for that. Louis Ballard has really opened up that lead. Never mind. I don't know if Leonid Chernov's going to be able to catch him. Branimir Nikolaev staying out, trying to hold off JP Buford for this position here in the top 10. This is the battle for 6th place currently, I believe, as Beaufort runs a bit wide, as the damaged car of Branimir Nikolaev holding off clearly superior cars. Branimir Nikolaev does not have much speed left in that number 7 car after that impact. He's really been struggling since then. Here's Gracie Benson, and she's going to pass Beaufort and Branimir Nikolaev. Nikolaev being a great teammate blocking for Gracie Benson, and that's going to move Gracie Benson up into 7th position. So she is doing a fantastic job here today. This is easily the best performance of her European exhibition career, as here's Louis-Philippe Gosselin getting trapped behind Clint Lend. He's not really making any attempts to move around. He's in 20th place right now. Here comes, and now he's back in 21st because of retarded back markers like Clint Lend. Seriously. Where are the blue flags? Where are the penalties? He was not acknowledging blue flags. He should not be back. Clint Lend should not be back in this series. Here's Conceso Montiero. I apologize about that. Here is Conceso Montiero doing battle with, I believe this is Sergei Yakovsky for the 3rd position on the final lap. Coming around. Conceso Montiero runs a bit wide. She runs into Hiroto Niku, stuffs him in the wall, and that's going to block Sergei Yakovsky, and Conceso Montiero is going to hang on and finish in 3rd place. Coming around here, that was a brilliant move using a stupid back marker to do an excellent block, and Louis Ballard wins here at Estonia in quite an interesting race. Now looking at the results, Leonid Chernov finished in 2nd place, quite a bit away from Louis Ballard and quite a bit away from Conceso Montiero. Speaking of Conceso Montiero, her and Sergei Yakovsky had a few words after the race. Yakovsky was not impressed with that move on the last lap, though that was one of the most brilliant moves I've ever seen, if not the most dirty move that I've ever seen. But it worked very well for Montiero, and she gets her best finish of the European Tour. Giuseppe Balducci, shout out to him in 5th place. What an excellent performance from the gentleman driver. He admits himself that he is not as skilled as his teammate, and after this, he was treating it like a win. Giuseppe Balducci, easily his best finish of his PCC Cup Series career, barring maybe Brno. in 2012 when James Hewitt won. Vital Winslow finishes in 6th place. That's going to do him a lot of good in the championship. And Gracie Benson finishes in 7th place with an excellent run. Easily the best performance of her career. Salvatore Torregrossa finally shakes off a lot of the bad luck and finishes in 8th place. Jan Schmidt has an excellent run, making up for his teammates' troubles, and finishes in 9th place. And how about JP Beaufort finishing in 10th on debut? Despite falling back late, he still finished in 10th place, which is still quite a good run on debut. Hank Jr. Wheat Farmer finishes in 11th place. Didn't talk about him all day. Nets 18 points for the American. Branimir Nikolaev, despite all that damage, dropped only down to 12th place. He didn't pit and stayed out and got 12th place and 16 valuable points for the championship. Mark Donovan has a strong run in 13th place, considering the pace of the Retro 80 racing cars compared to the rest of the field. Shumi Winslow battles back from extreme adversity here today to finish in 14th place and get 12 solid points. Aaron Williams has a strong run in 15th. Murphy Weller and Ed Boddicker get both Delta City racing cars in the top 20 and both get points. Dalia Aliwi gets her car into the points and 6 valuable points. Carolina Storman finishes in 18th place. Not really the run she was looking for, but considering how far back she had fallen at some points during the race, this is still a good finish for her. And Sean Spicoli gets the final point after stuffing some back markers into the wall. Now let's take a look at the point standings. And Louis Ballard leads the championship by 205 points now over Sergei Yakovsky in 2nd place with 180 points, Leonid Chernov 160 points. Christopher Loxonen has been unable to really mount a championship challenge despite having the fastest car. He is currently in 4th place, tied with Isaac Kowalczyk with 115 apiece. Vital Winslow quietly moving up in the championship. He is in 6th place with 111 points, and Conceição Montero's 3rd place finish moves her up into 7th place. Jan Schmidt really hasn't done much all year, but he's in 8th place with 78 points. Michael Grant unfortunately did not make the entry list for this race, but he still sits 9th in the points. Branimir Nikolaev is 10th with 69 points, tied with Shumi Winslow for 10th. Looks like Hank Jr. Wheat Farmer and Carolina Storman are tied for 12th at 60 points apiece. Mark Donovan has really pieced together a decent championship run, considering the pace of the Retro 80 racing cars compared to the rest of the field. He is in 14th place with 54 points to his name. Salvatore Torregrossa is in 15th place. The two Scuderia Italia cars just have not been able to piece together the reliability to make a serious effort towards the championship. There's really just in this to attempt to win races at this point. Louis-Philippe Gozolin, the 7th Gear Autosport cars, all 3 of them are now in the top 20. Louis-Philippe Gozolin, 48 points in 16th place. Dalia Aliwi, despite not running every single race, is in 17th with 46 points. Mercedes Winslow, the son of Shumi Winslow, did not make the entry list for Estonia either, but he still sits 18th with 42 points. Gracie Benson moves up into the top 20 with 36 points, and Giuseppe Balducci with that fantastic run. One race he has won points in, and that one race gets him in the top 20 in points with 35 points to his name.